Step into the world of fluency and uncover the keys to unlocking its full potential. Today we'll delve deep into an introduction to fluency and all its components. Whether you're a seasoned educator or a novice teacher, this video offers practical insights into fluency. Together, let's pave the way for readers of all ages to embrace fluency as a fundamental aspect of their literary experience. This lesson hopes to help you demonstrate an understanding of the key fluency terms of rate, accuracy, automaticity, and prosody. Anytime you see the pause button, you are encouraged to pause the video lesson to ponder, practice, or read further. Throughout the lesson, there are key terms that you will need to know. I recommend adding these terms to your notes. Before we start talking about fluency in particular, let's review a few key literacy terms. Decoding is the process of translating written language into verbal speech or inner speech. When students are decoding, they are looking at each grapheme and identifying which phoneme that grapheme stands for. Remember, the eyes take in this information within milliseconds, and the brain also processes this information quickly. While there are various definitions, generally comprehension is the process whereby the reader constructs meaning by interacting with the text. Both decoding and comprehension are always part of reading, and they interact with each other. As students progress through the elementary grades, there is a changing emphasis in learning to read. Beginning reading focuses more on decoding and learning how to read, and as the student becomes more mature reader, the emphasis changes to focus more on comprehension and reading to learn. In the beginning, students may read in a slow, halting fashion. This is understandable since students are still learning the code. However, if it persists, comprehension will suffer. Students will spend so much time decoding the words that they won't be able to understand what they read. Students need to become fluent, as well as accurate readers. The elements involved in successful reading are fluency, sight words, and independent decoding. Fluency, the topic of this video lesson, is basically the process of automatically, accurately, and rapidly recognizing the words. Sight words are a stockpile of words that the reader can recognize instantly. Independent decoding is the skills and strategies a reader uses to figure out unknown words. But what is fluency? The Reading Sourcebook gives fluency the definition that it is the accurate reading of connected text at a conversational rate with appropriate prosody. Tompkins defined fluency as reading smoothly, quickly, and with expression. Gunning defines fluency as freedom from word identification problems that might hinder comprehension in silent reading or expression of ideas in oral reading. Alberman, Swafford, and Monroe define fluency as the rate at which a child reads a passage and the accuracy and expression with which it is read. Although they all state it differently, they are all accurate. Fluency is generally equated with phrasing, smoothness, and expressiveness, as well as rate, accuracy, and automaticity. Based on a review of the research dealing with fluency, the National Reading Panel concluded that fluency is a critical component of skilled reading and that fluency develops from practice and guided oral reading activities, such as repeated readings. It is important to keep in mind, however, that the panel did not reach consensus on whether fluency led to better comprehension or whether better comprehension ensures that students will read more fluently. Personally, I think fluency and comprehension go hand in hand. As one improves, so does the other. For the purposes of this video lesson, we will define fluency as the accurate reading of connected text at a conversational rate with appropriate prosody. What are the components of fluency? Gunning states that there are two components of fluency, accuracy and automaticity. Tompkins states that there are three fluency components, automaticity, speed, and prosody. The Reading Sourcebook discusses automaticity, rate, and prosody. The different authors sometimes combine these components together under one heading. For example, some include accuracy with automaticity. For the purposes of this video lesson, we will break these components apart into four areas: automaticity, speed or rate, accuracy, and prosody. Automaticity is defined by Tompkins as identifying words accurately and quickly when reading. Gunning defines automaticity as tasks that can be performed without attention or conscious effort. The Reading Sourcebook defines it as the quick and effortless reading of words in and out of context. When a student has automaticity, he or she does not need to think about how to read the word, but rather what the meaning of the word and sentences are. Word identification strategies assist students with automaticity. These strategies are phonetic analysis, decoding by analogy, syllabic analysis, and morphemic analysis. In phonetic analysis, students apply their knowledge of sound-symbol correspondences, phonetics rules, and spelling patterns to read and write a word. In decoding by analogy, students use their knowledge of phonograms to deduce the pronunciation or spelling of an unfamiliar word. In syllabic analysis, students break a multisyllabic word into syllables and then apply their knowledge of phonics to decode the word syllable by syllable. In morphemic analysis, students use their knowledge of root words and affixes to read or write an unfamiliar word. Students must have an accurate reading speed or rate to have the cognitive resources available to focus on meaning. Fluent readers vary their reading speed depending on the selection, its topic, genre, and text complexity, and their purpose for reading. Rate is defined as how quickly and accurately a reader reads connected text. Reading along with a recorded version of a story is especially helpful for students whose reading speed is extremely slow and for students who are still learning English. Pictured here is a chart of target reading speeds in words read correctly per minute. The first column shows the grade level, the second column shows the target speeds according to Tompkins, the third column shows the target speeds for oral reading according to Gunning. The last column shows the target speeds for silent reading according to Gunning. Although Tompkins and Gunning's target speeds vary, they are very close to each other. Take a minute to choose your favorite grade level and see how many words per minute a student should be reading at for that grade level. Silent reading is faster and more efficient than oral reading. Beyond second grade, silent reading speed should exceed oral reading speed. There are factors that affect how fast a student reads. First, a student's background knowledge about the topic being read can affect the speed. If it is something that the student knows a lot about, his or her reading will be faster. This is one reason why it is important to activate background knowledge before reading. Knowledge of the genre, text structure, and text layout will help a student read faster. A student who has read a lot of Nancy Drew mysteries will have an idea of what to expect in other books in the mystery genre. Students who read a lot of eyewitness books will know what to expect when selecting a new eyewitness book on a different topic, as most eyewitness books are structured the same. Finally, students who speak English fluency will read faster because they are already familiar with more words, are familiar with English sentence structure, and recognize metaphors and other literary devices. These fluent English speakers make sense of the Amelia Bedelia books faster and realize the phrase,
"Dust the furniture,"
means to remove the dust that is on the furniture, not take the dusting powder from the upstairs bedroom and add dust to the furniture. Accuracy is being able to pronounce or sound out a word and also knowing the word's meaning. Accuracy and speed of reading have to be balanced. An overemphasis on accuracy will lead to a decrease in reading speed. Do not insist on 100% accuracy. If you do, students will get the wrong idea about reading. They will begin to see it as an oral performance activity in which they are expected to pronounce each word correctly. This could carry over to a student's silent reading and so hinder comprehension. When students read orally, their purpose should be to convey the meaning of the passage rather than to render accurate pronunciation of each word. When students are asked to read orally, they should have a chance to read silently first and should be asked to read in such a way as to convey what the author meant. Students will then have to think about and emphasize the meaning of what they read. Unrehearsed oral reading in which students take turns reading can be painful for struggling readers who are embarrassed by their mistakes and good readers who are bored by slow, choppy reading. While popcorn reading is popular, it is not a best practice. Remember from our discussion of the brain and the four-part processing model, the phonological processor manages prosody. Prosody is our ability to understand and produce the patterns of stressed syllables, intonation, and rising and falling pitch that characterize spoken language. Other definitions of prosodies include: the ability to orally read sentences expressively with appropriate phrasing and intonation, as well as the tonal and rhythmic aspects of spoken language. The components of prosody are expression, phrasing, volume, smoothness, and pacing. Punctuation is important to prosody. Punctuation directs you how to read. The importance of punctuation in meaning of a sentence can be demonstrated by the following joke. A panda walks into a cafe. He orders a sandwich, eats it, then draws a gun and fires 2 shots in the air.
Why?
Asked a confused waiter as the panda makes towards the exit. The panda produces a badly punctuated wildlife manual and tosses it over his shoulder.
I'm a panda,
He says at the door.
Look it up.
The waiter turns to the relevant entry and sure enough finds an explanation.
Panda. Large black and white bear-like mammal, native to China, eats, shoots, and leaves.
The degree to which this definition becomes muddied simply as a result of one incorrect comma is remarkable. Here is a quick review of automaticity, speed, and prosody. Quick practice. Can you answer the following questions without looking it up? A teacher provides the following feedback about her student's fluency. Abigail read at approximately 125 words per minute at the end of the school year. She is able to sound out unfamiliar words and makes few mistakes while reading. She does not skip words and has good word recognition. Which of the following should be added to the feedback to provide a comprehensive overview of the student's fluency? The correct answer is prosody. How did you do? Did you get it correct? Here's another one. A student is reading a piece of text during a running record. The student reads quickly and fails to stop at periods or pause at commas. While the student reads most of the words correctly, he does not use inflection when reading. At the end of the passage, the teacher asks the student what he remembered about the text. The student replies,
I don't remember what I read.
Which of the following aspects of fluency should the teacher help the student focus on so he can increase comprehension of the text? The correct answer is prosody. How did you do? Did you get it correct without looking?
We'll only be over land for about an hour and 28 minutes today, moving at an average speed of about 1,900 miles an hour. Keeping track of it for us is NASA's James Traley.
I'm coming to you from our new Gateway exhibit, where we today only have a partial eclipse, but still super excited to be tracking all of today's events live with our Eclipse Explorer. This right here is a fantastic tool that was developed by our friends at NASA Goddard Science Visualization Studio.
Thank you, Blair. We are in Indianapolis. We are almost at totality. You guys, let's get our glasses on.
You can literally see sunrise all the way around. Don't know if the camera's picking this up, but it's pretty neat. Oh, wow. Oh, the sun's about to come back out again. frogs are getting active again. And here's the diamond ring, and
Put your glasses back on, be safe. That is the diamond ring, folks. Wow, spectacular.